Buckle up for AEC Trailblazers, the Founders Files, where we crack open the stories of the brightest minds in the AEC startup scene. Forget institutional pitches. We're diving deep into the real personal journeys of these industry disruptors. Get ready for some casual chats firsthand.
Hello, and welcome everybody to another episode of the AEC Trailblazers podcast, where we interview the most amazing founders of the AEC. Today with us, we have Susan Brattberg. She is the founder and chief customer officer of Global Training, a leading provider of online training solutions for the AEC industry. With over 16 years of experience in strategic learning development, she specializes in building impactful training programs that drive efficiency and technology adoption. A lifelong learning advocate, Susan combines her expertise in curriculum development, business strategy, and relationship building to empower organizations worldwide. She holds an Executive MBA and a bachelor's in sociology from the University of Calgary. Susan, welcome to the show.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having me. It's going to be fun to hang out with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the last time we saw each other was AU, right?
I was, yeah. That was fun. I remember at our rooftop party at Autodesk University. It was great.
Like you hosted many parties. Like Globally Training hosted many parties on the last AU. It was
a lot. Yeah. We're gonna do something similar at this upcoming AU as well. I hope you'll be there.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I'm just excited to see what Nashville holds for us. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting for sure.
Should be fun. Nashville's a fun place.
Absolutely. By the way, did I miss something from the introduction? Something you want to add to your bio?
You summed it up really well. I'm Chief Customer Officer and founder of Global Training. And so I've been doing this a long time. We've been around for 16 and a half years. We had our 16th birthday at AU last year. So this upcoming year, we'll be having our 17th birthday.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
There is something that I'm just curious.
Yes.
Typically when you're a founder, right? And most founders decide to go the CEO route. Why do you decided not to go that route, I guess?
Well, I'm a co-founder, so I should specify that. So there's my sister and my brother-in-law are my other co-founders. So there's three of us. And so we're all very active in the company. And so my sister, Holly, she is we don't even really go by our titles all the time. What is she? She's CSO, Chief Strategy Officer. And then Steve is our CTO, Chief Technology Officer. So you put us together with the board of directors and we kind of function as a CEO. But our skill sets actually really nicely complement each other.
Interesting. So Global Training was the first company where you had a relationship with the construction industry, the AEC, or are you have previously involved in our industry before Global Training?
Yeah, we were in the education space in this industry. So it's actually a family business even before my sister and brother-in-law. So my parents ran vocational colleges in Alberta, in Canada. And so they had a whole network of vocational colleges. One of the colleges is Digital School, and it was formerly the Alberta School of Drafting. And so it's way before my time. We don't exactly know how old it is because that was a campus that they acquired. So we think it's over 40 years old. So it's a very prestigious institution in Alberta. It was based in Edmonton. Now it's 100% online. So Digital School was the first Autodesk Authorized Training Center in Canada. We became the first college in Canada to get licensed to deliver online training. So we've seen huge changes. The original Digital School, we still have in our storage room some of the original desks, teaching hand drafting when it was the Alberta School of Drafting. And then we changed the name to Digital School, obviously when CAD came out. So helping the industry transition from hand drafting to CAD, and then big transitions from CAD to BIM. So we've been helping lead the industry and helping people get really meaningful careers in the space. So really globally training launched from digital school. And we were getting a lot of requests from across Canada and then also from international students to want to take our accelerated program in architecture and engineering technology. Because it's an accelerated program versus some of the polytechnics have a 2-year program and ours is accelerated 1 year. Anyway, so people wanted to take our program. They didn't want to go to Edmonton because it's very cold in Edmonton. It's one of the coldest places on earth. And so because of all of those things going together, then we said, well, let's put it online. And so that's when we became the first school to be licensed for online training. We were an Autodesk training center, so we went to Autodesk and said, can we license some content to put in our online program? And they laughed at us back then. They said, no, you'll never, ever teach our software online. It's too technical. It's impossible. Yeah. They said you can't do it. So, but now it's quite interesting. Now we're one of their largest training partners. And we've had a long-term partnership with them. But that was the early days, and that was the launch of Globally Training. So it was initially just for digital school to put these programs online. We went to Autodesk University, and this is back 16 years ago, where we launched our product, and we had a lineup of people that their mind was blown, saying, you can learn this stuff online on the internet. Like, it was just wild. And it grew really quickly. People were very excited about the opportunity. And so then Globally Training grew and is actually like a larger business now than digital school, but we still run digital school, and it's our flagship campus.
Interesting. You have so much. I'm just curious, given the fact that you have seen, the progress on training from, drafting using a pen to CAD and then Revit, and then who knows what comes next. What do you think has been the biggest inflection points, like CAD and Revit, or do you think there's something else that it's also changing right now that we don't see?
Well, I think it's just accelerating the change, so everything else you could look at like decades, it was hand drafting for decades, and then CAD for decades, and now BIM for, I guess we're getting into decades, but maybe like a decade. And now you're getting into all of the new emerging technology, and it's faster than ever before. We're talking years and months and weeks, like with everything as a SaaS-based product. You're not even doing annual updates. That was the issue way back in the day is, how do you keep up to date with the annual updates? You'd use a textbook and you print the textbook every year with the annual updates, but now updates are happening continuously. So the software is changing. Every single project, every single workflow is unique. So it's not just saying, oh, these are the tools we have implemented in our company, so these are the tools we're going to use on the project. It's about saying, okay, what is the right tool for the job? And then that's where training really comes in, is people are having to learn faster than they ever have, because just to keep up to speed with the latest technology. So I think the biggest change is that it's accelerating.
Interesting. And given the fact that our industry, it always goes a little bit or runs a little bit slower than other industries. We all know that. That translates into the demand of courses that people require from you. Like, they still ask you for CAD and Revit, or people are demanding more advanced stuff, like, I don't know, software development or AI, or I don't know.
Totally. Yeah. And that's where it's really exciting for us. We're releasing more content now than we ever have. So our business for a decade was really helping people switch from CAD to BIM. Like we would say we help them leapfrog into BIM, and we're still doing that with a lot of companies. It's not everyone's there. It's the normal technology adoption curve. Whereas when we first started doing it, we were working with the innovators and the early adopters, but now it's like the wave, the early and late majority. We're in the masses. Everybody's on board. I remember I'd go to conferences and I'd come back to Canada and they'd say, let's see if this BIM thing really takes off. I'm like, oh my goodness, you guys, it's off. Like, you got to get on board or you're going to be left in the dust. So we don't have those conversations anymore. Like everybody's on board, but now it's what's next, and it's really exciting. And so, like the course development pipeline that we have is just like really hundreds and hundreds of course titles, but lots of new emerging technology, AI, coding for AEC. Obviously, we work with you on the coding courses, which is pretty exciting. And so it's just changing really. Really quickly. So we're doing our best to keep up to date with what the industry needs and providing them with what's next. But then we're also letting our customers take the reins, because even if we give them the picks and clicks training of what they need, everybody's going to have their own unique workflow and process. And we can't make that up for them. Like that's unique to each company and each project. And so we're giving them the tools to easily customize it to make the training really relevant.
No, that's a great point. And now that you mentioned our partnership, we're
Yeah.
excited as well. I mean, I feel there's a lack of programming courses out there for the AC. In general, other industries are so far ahead from us. Like, I don't know, finance, for example, they have been doing their own tools for more than a decade, and we're just starting on training our architects and engineers on how to code. So we're excited. And
Yeah.
at the same time, I do feel it's a challenge, right? Because like you mentioned, it's unique to every person. And when you're teaching somebody Revit, right, it's a program that solves a specific problem, and it's just for beam modeling of architecture, structural, and MP. When you're doing software development, you can do anything. So
Right.
it's kind of a challenge, right?
Yeah, it's exciting. It is a challenge. And I think, well, people are really diving in and embracing new technology and new ways of doing things. And I think it just like, if you imagine in the old days, if you had to have a website, you would hire a company that did websites. But now most companies have someone internally that can do that. I think it's the same thing now with, coding. You used to outsource a company to take on some of that work, whereas now it's just the day-to-day work, and everybody has internal experts. So they're having to learn quickly.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Even for us that we do coding ourselves, it's just insane. You're using AI models to code, and those AI models improve every week, not every year or every month. It's like every week. So it's just insane, and it's hard to keep up. And I bet you get the same requests from your clients, like, hey, I want to learn this new model, and you're like, but that was released a week ago. What do you want to do about it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where we've really focused in our technology. So we're much more than a training company now. So people have followed our journey. We started as a education institution, then we moved to a edutech company, education technology. Then we realized, hey, we're actually like a software company. We're a SaaS, software as a service company. Now we're really recognized that we've got patented technology. We're a full-on technology partner. And we're giving companies the ability to keep their training content completely up to date. And that is a patented technology that we offer, knowing that this stuff is changing so quickly. So with our training, for example, we have the ability, when there's updates in software or industry processes, new information that comes out, which is happening faster and faster than it ever has, the subject matter experts are able to push that content out instantly to all learners across all learning management system platforms. Whereas in any other model, you'd have to develop the course and then upload the course and then notify the learners, and then all of those steps takes a lot of work and a lot of time. And by the time you get it rolled out, it's usually out of date. So we're having the ability to have the actual expert push content directly into the right into the brains of the people that need to apply that knowledge and those skills.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And when you were speaking about this process, I'm also curious on the way people create content, right? We know that we're not there yet where you can, set up an avatar and set the topics and then make the avatar just do the videos for you. We're close. We're getting very close to that.
Oh.
Not there yet, but soon we're going to have amazing models that they can even use your own face. It doesn't necessarily have to be a random face. It can be your own face, your own voice, and the content you define, but it saves you a lot of time. Do you see that's gonna be happening in the near future as well?
I wouldn't be surprised. We're certainly leaning into AI, and we're incorporating AI right into our course development already. So we have AI-powered course creation. It doesn't do the fancy avatars like you're talking about, but that would be my dream, have a Susan avatar. But right now, you can just prompt AI, and just like you would in ChatGPT, but it will actually write you a full course. By all means, it's AI. So we're never ever going to replace the actual subject matter experts, but what we're doing is elevating them to their highest and best worth. So it gets, it's that writer's block. Like, if a subject matter expert, it's this concept of unconscious competence. So they know their stuff, but in order to break it down into a format to explain it to others, you're kind of just scratching your head and saying, okay, where do I even start? And so with our AI, and everything is template based, you can create outlines and the general format of a course, and then take it from there. And it just gets that writer's block, out of the way, which that's the major part of course building, is building your outline and figuring out your topics. And then you can edit it and add your own value and everything like that. So we are doing that. Our subject matter experts are able to leverage all of these new features that we have to build content out more quickly. But by all means, every single course is built and vetted by subject matter experts, because AI is great, but it can be confidently right and wrong.
Yeah, and not only that, like even if you can guarantee that AI is always right. Let's say we get to that point that if it's always right, like
Sure.
the reality is that it will never be, or at least in the short or midterm, it will never be a creative entity, right? It will not like define a new process or
Right.
create a new example of like, hey, you should model this on. It will never do it. It will just create something based on something that somebody else have created. So
Right.
like even then, I don't think that you're gonna get rid of like experts. But like you said, I think it saves a lot of time, because it's
Yep.
not that I don't want to, like, for example, record my own videos, right? But if an avatar can make it for me, I can just check it out later and edit it and make adjustments, instead of me just being in front of the screen for hours,
Exactly.
I guess.
Yeah.
No,
It saves some time.
yeah, absolutely. And changing gears a little bit, I'm just curious if you can say this. What's the most demanded courses that you have in global training in general? What people are demanding the most these days?
Yeah, good question. So we have hundreds of courses, and then our customers have developed, thousands on top of our courses, and they're leveraging our content within their workflows. But out of our content, like Autodesk is our biggest library of content. We've got training for the entire architecture, engineering, construction, manufacturing industry. And so we've got a lot of titles beyond Autodesk. But you look at Autodesk, it's certainly our most comprehensive course library. And then Autodesk, I still think Revit will be our number one course, just because this huge global shift to be switching into BIM-enabled software. But we're seeing a lot of emerging technology really take off, and people are asking, what's the newest and the latest and the greatest. Like, for example, we have a format course coming out. And people are excited about it. So that's an emerging technology, but a lot of excitement about it. But it's not at the level of day-to-day use. And even Revit, even if people know Revit, that is something, just a tool like that they use every day, and they need to keep up to date on it. So that's still probably our most popular course. And then we call them our hero courses. So Revit, AutoCAD, Civil 3D, Plan 3D, Revit, Navisworks, Inventor are, I'd say, our hero courses, where we see like the heavy project software that gets a lot of use. And of course, Construction Cloud is, I would say, our biggest up and coming. Construction Cloud is really hot right now. A lot of growth there.
Interesting. Well, the reality is that they have added so many new features to Construction Cloud, that it's becoming a large platform where you actually need to learn a lot to use it. It's like Revit, right? I feel there are some smaller platforms that are easier to, like, even Forma. I mean,
Yeah.
it's much more easier. It's something that you can learn on just one specific course. With
Right.
Rabbit, it needs to be a really, really long course for you to be able to actually master it.
Exactly. Yeah. And we provide all of that. So like, our Revit course would be, it's all self-paced, but it's over 40 hours of course content. Plus we've got additional events, concepts, and workflows available. So someone new out of the gate, they could get up to a date where they could get an industry certification. But someone who's already an intermediate or advanced user, they can really use it just to like the new for each version, and just to keep up to date on the new software releases is a great tool. And we're seeing a lot of use that way. We have a new feature called Get Insights, and that's becoming really popular. So it's a smart assessment tool. Someone could take an assessment, and then based on what they get right and wrong, it creates a custom learning path, and it tells them exactly what they want to focus in for really targeted, tailored training. So companies are liking this for onboarding, to give people like their, customized onboarding plan, and also to create skills matrices for their teams so they know who knows what. They can fill those gaps accordingly, but also do proper resource allocation for projects. Make sure the people with the right skills are on the right project, which is, this kind of data and analytics is pretty new. You think about these sophisticated projects and all the analytics behind the actual project or building or whatever the infrastructure you're building, and more data and analytics than you've ever had. Yet a lot of companies are really running blind with their most valuable resource, which is their people. They don't know who knows what. So we're finally giving them these insights and headlights. And when they're actually using that as like the foundation for their projects, and making sure that everybody knows what they need to know before a project, like before and during a project, they come back to us and say, wow, that project was so efficient when everyone was trained. Like, wow, it's not a crazy concept, but it's still not that common. So we're helping make that the new norm.
No, and I mean, you make it sound like it's pretty easy, but in reality, it's complex. When you
It is,
have a
yeah.
large company and you need data about every single thing, it's a lot to do.
Yes,
And
sure
I've
is.
been involved in projects myself where
Mhm.
there are resources. I don't know, a big modeler, right? And some resources are slower than others, and it's not that they're dumb or that, is that you don't know what they need. So if
Right.
at least you know that, hey, they all have the same knowledge, maybe then you can focus on other things like, hey, I don't know, maybe the computer is too slow and that's why that guy is
Right.
slower. And I can, but you need data for that so you can make the right comparison. Otherwise, how do you know that guy doesn't even know what he has to do, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So no, it makes
And I
sense.
think the biggest thing, well, people, there's a lot of insights that you can draw with the analytics. So I've had anecdotal discussions with companies, and they said, we had no idea. We saw someone's training engagement was, they were underperforming. They weren't hitting their learning and development goals. So they discussed it with the team member. They found out that person was really disengaged and was about to quit. So like that was an early intervention that they saved someone from quitting. So like that is, if you think about the ROI on that, that's huge. Other things where they say, they say people know, they say, oh yeah, I know this or that. Maybe they don't actually know all the things that they're saying they know. So and then the most important thing I find when I talk to these customers is they've got some underutilized resources. So they've got, the quiet guy that just does his work every day, and, getting all the projects done, but is actually a guru in so many different other areas of software or whatever the skill sets are, and they're underutilizing them, and that person should be promoted, and they didn't even know that person was such an expert. So it is really valuable insights. But then I guess you get to the next level. One, it's a way to attract and retain staff. It really matters to people, for companies that invest in the professional development. So if I can go to company A or company B and it's a similar compensation, I'm going to go to the company that invests in my professional development. So that's a big piece. So I could go on and on and on about like the benefits of training, but it even gets into compliance. Now it's not just, we're going to put people on the site that know what they're doing. How can you prove they know what they're doing? And if it comes down to it, if there was an issue on that project, you need to prove it for liability issues even.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think there are so many advantages. It's not just about measuring who knows what, but and it helps you understand so many other factors of a specific resource. So, absolutely, it makes so much sense. And also, I'm curious on the fact that like a lot of people are taking these courses on Revit or AutoCAD or ACC, but the reality is that the industry is so complex, and there is a limit to what Autodesk can do, even when it's the biggest company out there. There's a limit to it, and there are so many other things that they're not doing because they cannot solve every problem in the industry. And based on that, there is an increased amount of AEC startups and products for the industry that is growing and growing every year, which is a great thing. Are your audience demanding content for like much more smaller tools, or do you think that most of them are just like, no, you're keeping Autodesk and then we don't worry about the rest?
No, we're really growing quickly, working with like smaller emerging tech companies, and then also just on industry skills in general, just leadership and soft skills, and theoretical skills like BIM and ISO 19650, standards, and even certifications that go along with that, like building smart certification, for example, is really important. So is a lot more than just the picks and clicks training that is required. But we are working with a lot of really exciting emerging technology companies, and even bigger companies in some cases collaborate with Autodesk, and in some cases compete. But again, we want to, BIM is about being software agnostic and using the right tool for the job. So our goal is to have, training in every tool. Of course, we're not quite there yet. But we are welcome, for technology companies, if they need a training platform, we absolutely welcome them to add training content into our platform to make available to our customers. It's a great opportunity to get exposure, but also to drive that technology adoption, because then companies can easily add that into their workflows. So in some cases, we make it. In some cases, we partner with software companies to get their content added in. For example, we just partnered with Ignite. So we've got Ignite training, and they provided us with the materials so that can easily be added to our customers' workflow. We have a lot of mutual customers, and they need to have that as part of their workflow, right? So they need to have the Ignite training in our platform. So a lot of exciting new content coming, and the sky's the limit.
No, absolutely. And if I may ask a mean question, it's not that easy.
Ask all the questions.
And I know the value, but the audience, I think they might not. But when you're deciding on picking a training platform for your company, right? You might be tempted to like, hey, I might just get a couple of videos from YouTube, and I think that will be all. For me, it's obvious that it's not the same. But what would you say to those kind of people that are thinking that, hey, I can just grab a couple of courses and just throw it to my people, and that will solve the problem?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think one is not necessarily vetted. It might be excellent content and it might not. So you don't know that it hasn't gone through the vetting. It's also not trackable. So, someone might go watch a really awesome video on YouTube, but then who knows what else they start doing. They're going to get distracted with some cat video or something, but, so, and then you don't know who knows what, right? And it's similar, like it could be go to YouTube and look something up. It's even like go to a conference, send someone to Autodesk University. That's great. And I'm sure everybody learns something and they all take something away, probably more from the networking and, talking with industry peers. But like, do they actually know you showed up? They have no clue. So I think that the vetting and the trackability is really key, and then the ability to really tailor it to be company and workflow and discipline specific, and that's what we're really helping organizations do. I look at global e-training as the bridge between like the tech teams and the learning and development teams, and they have similar yet different objectives. The learning and development team, a lot of them went out and they got a learning management system. So a lot of companies are really focusing on skills development for their people. They realize it's, not a nice to have, it's a must have. Learning and development has big jobs to do with like compliance training and leadership development and all sorts of things that they typically just say technical training, figure it out, because it's a lot and to keep it up to date. But now they're getting to the point they say we still need to see these company-wide learner metrics. We've invested in a learning management system. A lot of companies after the pandemic or during the pandemic went and said we're doing everything online. So they got a learning management system. They went online. What that proved is people are very capable of learning and working remotely. So people aren't questioning that anymore. So that's great. But now they're saying, let's optimize these systems. We need to actually make sure people are coming into our learning management system and we are tracking and we're providing them with like, actual training and development plans and programs of what we want them to take. So that's the learning and development side. And the tech team is saying, well, we just need to get like this. We need to keep them up to date on this evolving software that changes quickly. So that's where we become that bridge. We give the tech team the ability to really manage the content and who gets what, but then give the visibility to the L&D people so that they have those company-wide learner metrics. So that is unique to Global eTraining, that our content will run on any learning management system. That is a patented technology that we have it. It's not only unique to us in the AEC space, that's a unique offering to Global eTraining anywhere.
Interesting. No, I didn't know that. And I mean, for many companies, that's huge. Because otherwise, how can they integrate to what they already have in place?
Right.
So, pretty interesting. And when you were saying about making sure that somebody shows up, like like to my mind, it came the example of, Autodesk University and people just stopping on the slot machines for a couple of hours before going to the Venetian, right? Like we have all seen that.
Who's gonna know?
Yeah, you never know. And the good thing about a platform where you can know who's doing what and is that it can even be part of your career, right? Like, hey, you wanna get a promotion, you need to at least do 10 courses a year on these specific topics. If you do them, you get a promotion. If you don't do it, you don't get a promotion. So up to you.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's so much you can do. Just one. I'm also interested on doing all the work you are doing. What's coming for Global eTraining in the next, 5-10 years?
Oh, I think 10 years is so far out to predict because things are changing so fast. We're really excited about like what's happening now. We're working on some pretty exciting new technology that we will be launching at Autodesk University. That's usually because that's where we launched 16 years ago. We always do our big announcements there every year. So really and truly leaning into AI. So just taking it to the next level, what our AI tools can do, which is just amazing. Literally when I say like all the information you need to know, like right in your brain, it's not, I'm not saying we're putting in microchips. We're not there yet, but it's like the fastest way to develop and learn content that is industry and company and discipline specific. That's always up to date and just in time learning. We're very excited about our translation opportunity. So we do partner with a lot of global firms and we're growing globally. So because we work with global firms, like we've got learners in about 150 countries, so we truly are global, but we're growing, not just working with global firms, but working with local firms as well. So translation is really important for us. So our translation functionality is something we're very proud of, that we can build and translate content in any language to any language, and we've gotten really great reviews on that. So those are some of the things that we've got coming that are pretty exciting. And then of course, just the breadth of content that's, we're punching on more content than we ever have. And that's just going to continue to accelerate as well.
That's cool. And when you mentioned what's coming, it came to my mind when, my first job, I didn't know what I had to learn to be the best architect out there or the best software developer out there or whatever. Like, so if I had a way to actually have a path for me to become that, I don't know, that would be amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what people want. Nobody wants to wait anymore. Everybody wants to know the path, but they want it now. So they don't want to have to wait and for a class to start in a week or a month, or to ask another colleague. So
yeah, and sometimes it's really hard because you don't know what you don't know, so it's hard for you to know what's the right path. So
right. Yeah.
that's really interesting. And I also want to know, like, when you translate courses, it's just text or like subtitles, or it's also voice?
At the moment, it is subtitles. We have the ability to do voice. It just doesn't line up exactly. So we've chosen to not use that. But I think that's evolving. So like, ask me later. At the moment, we're doing subtitles because that is the easiest for us to process. Because it follows along really nicely when you're translating content. So all of our courses are very interactive and include all the learning styles. So you have visual, audio, read, write, and kinesthetic options. And so it does translate anything that's text or audio in subtitles. It does do the audio recording, but just on the videos, we choose to just do the closed captioning because it doesn't quite line up. But in the actual text of the courses, it does do audio narration. It does do that out currently. And so the only thing that doesn't actually changing is the images.
Interesting. It's just, yeah. I'm going to ask you this question in 6 months or something. I think it might change, like where you
it's changing quickly. So we're doing what we're pushing the limits to what the technology is available now. And then as the technology evolves, we're evolving as well.
Yeah, no. I saw a model that translates the voice and also changes the way you move your mouth to the language, but it's still,
it's not quite
it's not so good. Yeah, it's not quite there, but it would be amazing. I don't know. I'm curious to I don't know, to hear how it sounds in, I don't know, Chinese or Hindi or whatever other languages you're going to translate your courses. So looking forward to that moment in time. Okay, I know you're a busy person, Susan. Lovely, that busy person. So I don't want to take more of your time, but before we wrap this up, can I ask you a couple of ping-pong questions?
Yes, please.
All right. What do you think it's going to be the next big trend in the AEC?
Well, I think we're all about emerging technologies, and people are kind of just swimming with all of the possibilities and AI and, what can it even do for me? So I think right now we're swimming in possibilities. So I think that, I'm not talking long-term, I'm thinking short-term, like in this year, the focus is on adoption. You're choosing your technology, you're making it, the way you want it to work, and your own workflows and processes that, and now you need to drive a lot of adoption faster than you ever have. So anyway, and that's my other plug for training. Training is the best way to drive any technology adoption. But, it's not just buying the technology and then thinking you can wave a magic wand and thinking it's just going to roll itself out. It's not that easy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We noticed that. Okay.
Adoption is my answer.
Adoption. Okay. You keep adoption and AI.
Yes. An adoption of AI. Like right now, people talk about AI and they're dabbling in it. I wouldn't say that there's many companies that I'm talking to. Like they're still figuring out the AI policies. So I don't think that they've truly adopted it at this point yet.
Well, I mean, it's hard because AI is just a tool. So it's like, what's our policy with the hammer? Well, we all use it for a specific reason. So I guess you always need to find the reason, and then you can adopt it. Otherwise, it's just going to be, And then next one is, if you could collaborate with any person in history, which person would you choose?
Oh, you didn't tell me you were going to ask tricky ones like this. Collaborate, or is that what you're saying?
Well, collaborate. You could be working on a project. It could be whatever you like.
Ooh, Well, I could think of a lot of people, but I'll just say the first person that came to mind without actually thinking too hard about your question, is Lynn Allen. She's been an evangelist at Autodesk, and I don't even know if she knows it, but she turned into my mentor. Um, I just admire her a lot and how she helped she was like the leader of transforming this industry from CAD to BIM, and I learned so much from her. And so even if she doesn't realize it, she took me under her wing. So I've already had the opportunity to collaborate with her, and she's become a friend. But yeah, any opportunity to continue to collaborate with her. She's just a wonderful person, and I respect a lot.
I like it. I like it.
Mhm.
It's a real person living and working in the AC. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And has made a massive impact.
yeah, no, I love it. And then last but not least, given the fact this is a AC podcast, what's your favorite building in the world, and have you ever visited?
Oh, yeah, this is so tricky. No, I haven't. I haven't. I just look at some of the new projects that are happening, like these giga projects that just blow my mind, and I've not seen them in real life. But, we have a lot of excitement in the Middle East, a lot of business growth. I have not personally been there, but to see some of these giga projects in the Middle East and you know the name of it, but like that 7-star hotel and things like that would be pretty amazing to me.
Yeah, like the Burj Khalifa or the
Thank you.
Freedom Tower in Saudi Arabia, or
Yeah. And see some of these giga projects that they're building in faster than, we build a mega project in North America and they're building a giga project in less time. Like it is amazing to me and blows my mind. And I just love to see it in real life one day.
yeah, I know that's something that we need to learn this side of the world, I guess.
Mhm.
How the speed and the complexity, because it's not only about speed, it's the complexity of putting together those kind of buildings, and it also blows my mind as well. It's just insane.
Yeah.
But before we say goodbye to each other, can you tell everybody where they can know more about Global E-Training or contact you as well?
Yeah, thank you for that. So globaletraining.ca. So CA stands for Canada. So everything is on our website. You can reach out to me directly on my LinkedIn or an email. I'm susanb@globaletraining.ca. I'd be happy to chat to anybody. But all the information's on our website and including a free demo. So that's what I would recommend people do is like log in and give Global E-Training a shot. Give it a try for yourself and for even your whole team. You can try it out for free.
All right. Thanks so much for this conversation, Susan. It was really interesting, and I love what you guys are doing, and that's why
Oh.
we're partnered with you guys. So,
Well, that's what we love what you're doing. You're helping us take our training to the next level and helping meet the needs of what our customers are asking for and all of the coding. And it's really exciting to see where the industry's going.
yeah, absolutely excited to see what we can put together.
Yes.
Right. Okay. I hope you have a great day. And
Yeah, you too. Sounds great. Well, if I don't see you before then, I'll see you in Nashville.
yeah, see you next week. All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Thanks to our listeners. If you like this content, you can find past and upcoming episodes in ascworks.everse.com and at all of our Everse social media. We'd love to hear from you and recommendations for new content, so leave us a DM and we'll make sure to catch it.